It was a quiet morning in a house that seemed both familiar and foreign to Bonnie. As she and Arjun entered, the air felt heavy with anticipation, like something was about to change. The house was large, almost imposing, and yet it carried an aura of history, one that Bonnie couldn't quite place. "Where are you lost?" Arjun's voice broke her reverie, snapping her back to the present. She shook her head and followed him inside, trying to ignore the growing unease in her chest. Her mother, Beena, was quick to show them around, and soon enough, Arjun was getting the bags inside while Beena insisted on setting them up with cold drinks. "The bus ride must have been tiring, right, Bonnie?" Beena said, her voice warm, but there was an edge to it that Bonnie couldn't ignore. "Sure, why not?" Bonnie replied, trying to smile through the confusion. She felt strangely out of place, as if something was wrong but couldn't put her finger on it. She watched her mother bustle around, offering drinks, and felt the weight of her words linger in the air. Then, her mother approached her with something unexpected, an antique typewriter. "Happy birthday, my dear," Beena smiled as she presented it to her daughter. "This belonged to your grandmother, Bella. It's magical." Bonnie took it in her hands, admiring the craftsmanship. It felt heavy with history, yet the words her mother spoke next struck her like a lightning bolt. "This typewriter is more than just a gift. It's been passed down for generations. It can bring to life anything typed on it once every 25 years. Bonnie looked at her mother, disbelief flooding her thoughts. "What do you mean?" she asked, unsure of what she had just heard. Beena's eyes darkened as she spoke about the typewriter's power. It was through this typewriter that Bonnie's grandmother, Bella, had typed the kind of life she wished for herself, and later, the life she hoped for her daughter. Every woman in their family had used it to shape their destinies. When your grandmother was hurt, the typewriter helped her take control of her life again. It gave her strength. But it wasn't just about control or power. The deeper the conversation went, the more Bonnie began to unravel an old family secret, one steeped in pain, tragedy, and vengeance. Her grandmother had been brutally attacked by men from their village, and in her rage and sorrow, she used the typewriter to avenge herself. Her actions were violent, and it cost her peace of mind. She lost herself, but in doing so, she also changed the future for her family. The weight of it all was suffocating. "This typewriter has given birth to generations of women who no longer need men to create life," Beena declared, her eyes cold with determination. "You're not going to let a man come between you and the legacy we built." Bonnie felt a chill run down her spine. This wasn't just about a typewriter or her grandmother's legacy, it was about a deep-rooted family tradition that tied the women in their lineage to a fate that no man could escape. And now, Arjun, the man she loved, was at the center of it all. As the evening grew darker, the mood in the house became more tense. Arjun was confused, but Bonnie's heart was heavy with the knowledge of what her mother was willing to do to preserve this family tradition. And when Beena made it clear that the men who entered their home would meet a violent end, it became too much for Bonnie to bear. The night seemed to drag on as Bonnie and her mother spoke in hushed tones, with Arjun caught between confusion and fear. But it wasn't until later, when Bonnie heard her mother sing softly, that the truth finally hit her. Bonnie had always known there was something special about the house, but now she understood it wasn't just the house that held the power, it was the women. And when Bonnie's own feelings of love and doubt collided with the cold, unyielding traditions of her family, she faced a harrowing decision: would she follow the twisted legacy of her mother and grandmother, or break free from the curse that bound them all? Her mother's warning echoed in her mind. Either you'll follow the tradition, or there will be no going back. It was clear now this house, this family, and its secrets were inescapable.